Going back with another reaction video, we got a Chicago crash outs that killed the police, man. We finna get into the reaction. Every time I drop a reaction joint, I drop bangers back to back, yeah. But I need y'all to tap in with this video, man. Y'all gonna fuck with the video. I'm telling you, twin. Y'all gonna fuck with it, bro. I'm telling you. I got more shit coming. We finna get lit. Now let's get into this video right now. Let's do it.
The youngins in Chicago might just be more wild than ever before. They
Cracking
truly
out
have
there.
no regard for human life or any fear of consequences. In this video, we'll be telling the stories of 3 Chirac crash outs that gunned down
what the fuck? Whatever he done did, he did it. My boy, he did it. I promise you he did it. Him, he did it too. This nigga like he was just killing everybody. Shit. These two niggas, they were short yellow butts.
Some cold blood.
Oh
but before we get into the video, please be sure to like and subscribe.
Let's get to the crash out one.
The first crash out we'll be talking about is a man named Killemzay.
Bro, who did his tattoo, bro? He let a little ass kid draw on his goddamn neck, bro. What is this? What? Man, this something goddamn I could have did better than that. I'm just telling the truth. I ain't lying to you. I could have did better than that, bro. I would have made sure this shit would have been looking like a line. This is like a little heart. Nigga, this is like a heart. What the? Let's get to the video, bro.
On August 7th, 2021, an officer named Ella French was on patrol with 2 other officers named Officer Yanez and Officer Blas when they pulled over an SUV with expired license plates, allegedly driven by Killemzay's brother Eric Morgan near 63rd Street and Bell Avenue.
What is you niggas getting creatures and animals on your goddamn neck for? This nigga got a spider on his neck.
According to prosecutors, Officer French walked to the driver's side of the vehicle and took the keys from Eric, who allegedly admitted that he had marijuana on him. He was ordered to get out of the car. The other officers ordered Killemzay to get out of the car, and he exited with an open drink and a cell phone in hand. He allegedly refused to set those items down and soon began struggling with the officers. As this happened, Eric tried to run and was chased by Officer Blas, while Officer Yanez continued struggling with Killemzay at the back of the SUV. Those two moved toward the open front passenger door, with Officer Yanez yelling at Killemzay to show his hands. As Officer French came over to assist, Killemzay allegedly fired multiple shots, striking both French and Yanez in the head. Officer French was rushed to the University of Chicago Medical Center, where she died. Officer Yanez was shot multiple times and critically wounded, but survived his injuries. He ultimately lost an eye and was left partially paralyzed. As Officer Blas attempted to handcuff Eric, he heard gunshots and then saw Killemzay run past. But Killemzay returned to the SUV and can be seen stepping over Yanez and French's bodies on the ground on video. When Officer Blas made his way back to the vehicle, Killemzay allegedly fired multiple shots in his direction but missed as Blas returned fire. Killemzay was struck but was able to flee the scene on foot before both he and his brother were taken into custody. In September 2021, Killemzay was indicted on 85 counts related to this incident, and in March 2024, he was found guilty. He was sentenced to 2 life sentences without parole for first-degree murder and first-degree attempted murder. Now, on to the next crash out.
Yeah, he did. The nigga done broke his jaw. What the? Y'all know how a chick might be having hella acorns in the mouth. This nigga had the hella acorn and he's got, man, boy, you big motherfucker. You're fat.
The second crash out we'll be talking about is a man named Steven Montano. On March 1st, 2023, 18-year-old Steven Montano and his 37-year-old girlfriend that he was living with in the 5200 block of South Spalding Avenue began arguing. During the argument, Steven allegedly charged with his hands outstretched at his girlfriend, who stepped out of the way to avoid being struck. Steven then threatened to get his gun. His girlfriend exited the home through a side door on 53rd Street, called 911, and reported that Stephen had a gun. As she spoke to a dispatcher, Stephen followed her. He also allegedly grabbed the phone from his girlfriend's hand, hung up on 911, and threw the phone. They continued to argue, and he went back inside the home. It was shortly after the Chicago police arrived. Two officers approached the front door of the residence and heard noise in the gangway. Prosecutors said Stephen jumped out of a window of the residence into the gangway and fled back towards the alley. An officer saw an object in Stephen's hands, believing it was a gun. Stephen encountered two neighbors in the alley and asked them if he could hide the gun in the garage the neighbors were standing in. When the neighbors indicated that he couldn't, he entered the garage they were in and fled into the backyard of a connected residence. As he made his way through other neighboring yards, the first two officers made their way into the alley, saw Stephen, and alerted other officers to his location. As Stephen continued to flee north along Spalding Avenue past Sawyer Elementary School, Officer Vasquez Lasso responded to the scene and saw the suspect. Officer Lasso got out of his squad car, chased Stephen through a gate, and entered the schoolyard area of Sawyer Elementary. Officer Lasso ordered Stephen to stop multiple times. At one point, Stephen looked back over his shoulder at the officer. He turned toward Officer Lasso while racking the slide on his pistol and pointed the gun at him. Both Officer Lasso and Stephen fired at each other. Stephen fired 5 times, and Officer Lasso was hit 3 times in the head, arm, and leg. Officer Lasso fired twice, hitting Stephen in the mouth. The shooting was captured on Officer Lasso fired twice, hitting Stephen in the mouth.
Oh my god. I think his jaw stuck like that. I don't think that's gonna go down, boy. Ooh.
The shooting was captured on Officer Lasso's body-worn camera. Officer Lasso collapsed immediately after being shot. Stephen stumbled a few feet away into the nearby school parking lot before falling to the ground. Officer Lasso's police partner exited the squad car and approached Stephen, who still tried to walk away despite being shot. Police tased and handcuffed him. They recovered the .45 caliber handgun they said was used by Stephen in the shooting. Other officers began life-saving measures on Lasso. He was eventually taken in an ambulance to Mount Sinai Hospital, where he was ultimately pronounced dead. Stephen faces a first-degree murder charge on top of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon and opening fire near a school building. If convicted, he will most likely spend the rest of his life in prison. Now on to the final crash out.
This nigga did it. This nigga nasty. Just look at him. What is around what's around your lips, bro? What the hell he done did it, bro? I can't even look at this man.
Today.
He should be in #1 crash.
For the last crash out of the day, we'll be talking about a man named Darion McMillan. Initially, just before 8 p.m. on November 4, 2024, Officer Enrique Martinez and his partner, Officer Nunez, responded to a call in the 8200 block of South Ingleside Avenue. After determining the call was unfounded, they left, but soon noticed a black Ford Escape with a Wisconsin temporary license plate double parked and blocking traffic nearby. Police found the vehicle had a fraudulent registration and a broken taillight. Officer Martinez and Officer Nunez approached the vehicle to conduct a traffic stop. Inside the vehicle were 3 individuals: a 23-year-old male driver, Darion in the front passenger seat, and a third person asleep in the back. More officers who had been dispatched to the scene initially arrived and also approached the Ford. According to police, Darion held a backpack close to his chest, ignored commands to show his hands, and eventually drew a firearm from the backpack, firing multiple rounds. The driver and Officer Martinez were struck. Officer Martinez was hit 5 times and collapsed on the side of the street. Darion pushed the wounded driver out of the vehicle and jumped into the driver's seat. Officer Brink, an assisting officer at the scene, ordered Darion out of the vehicle and grabbed his shirt in an attempt to pull him out of the vehicle. Darion put the vehicle in reverse and sped backwards toward Ingleside Avenue with the driver's door still open. Officer Brink fell to the ground while the vehicle reversed, and 1 round was accidentally discharged from his gun. The driver's door of Darion's vehicle hit a parked car, leaving behind heavy damage. A short time later, Darion hit another parked vehicle at 8055 South Ingleside Avenue and fled on foot. The third individual, who was asleep in the back seat of Darion's vehicle, was still in the car. Officer Martinez was transported to the University of Chicago Hospital, where he died from his wounds. The driver, who was also wounded in the shooting, was pronounced dead at the crime scene. Surveillance footage later captured Darion attempting to evade arrest, entering a home in the 8000 block of South Drexel Avenue. A caregiver in the first floor apartment of the home saw Darion go into the kitchen wearing a white shirt, black pants, and red and white Air Jordan 4s. She claims she saw Darion go into the kitchen, open one of the drawers, and grab an item. He then tried to cut the electronic monitoring bracelet he was wearing but needed a sharper knife, so he reached for a butter knife and a cutter knife, then left the home. The caregiver called 911. Just over a minute later, he was seen running down the alley behind the home and getting onto Maryland Avenue. Police said they found Darion in a white t-shirt with dirt marks, black pants, and red and white Jordans, walking on Maryland Avenue. He was detained and later identified as the suspect in the officer's shooting by other officers at the crime scene. Police then searched his car and found a .40 caliber firearm with a fully automatic switch on the front passenger seat. Darion is facing multiple charges, including 1 count of first-degree murder of a police officer, 1 count of first-degree murder, 1 count of attempted murder of a police officer, 1 count of residential burglary, 1 count of unlawful use of a weapon, and 1 count of aggravated unlawful use of a weapon by a felon. Darion was 23 at the time of the shooting, and if convicted...
This nigga was 23 in this picture? Oh my god, bro. I'm thinking that nigga at least about 30, 35, 40, something like that. Man, this nigga on crack.
He'll most likely be spending the rest of his life in prison. Man, there are really some people in society that don't care about anything, not even their own lives. What's crazy is that most of these guys shouldn't even have been free. Most of them were convicted felons and shouldn't have even been allowed to roam the streets and inflict the pain they caused. RIP to officers Ella French, Vasquez Lasso, and Enrique Martinez.
Yeah, for sure.
Pray for the city of Chicago. And
bro, but you gotta understand though, bro, the system is gonna always, it's gonna be some in the system, bro. And they let anybody be in society, bro. You can be a crackhead. They gonna let you be in society.